Field there in Atlanta holding that Super Bowl.
I saw him the other night on TV.
I'm getting there.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
getting there.
Stop reading, dude.
Because now there's nothing to read. It says Garofalo ad-lib.
Okay.
So I am ad-libbing.
Okay. You're reading
that's what the prompter says. But now Gronk is hanging out with his buddy Peter Schrager and the rest of the Fox crew. And his buddies the other night grilled him about a possible comeback.
I love playing the game. I love being around the game. I even love watching the game of football now. It makes just appreciation to watch it, just seeing the hits, seeing the glory of it. You understand the game so much more and why fans love the game so much more.
Tell me that.
So, you know, I'll always keep it open. I'll always keep it open. I'll always keep it open. I'll always keep the door open.
He hasn't put his retirement papers in, so we can always pray and hope. It's a little fact that...
I didn't know that.
Well, I'm glad I could tell you one thing you don't know.
Yeah, well, I'll tell Robert Kraft something. Doesn't matter. The papers don't matter. Don't worry about that part. That has nothing to do with anything. Even if he did file the papers, he could always come back. He's got till week 13 to make a decision here. Haven't heard anything in regard to any momentum toward there, but we should find out over the next month or so whether it is really going to be a possibility for Gronk that he could return to the field this upcoming season. Patriots haven't needed him to this point. Sure, they could always use him, and you got Julian Edelman being doubled. Well, you can have Gronk singled up somewhere else. But to this point, hasn't been that much of an issue. Certainly didn't need him the other night against the Giants, even though it was a little closer than they wanted it to be.
Dixon back on for the punt for the Giants. Chest high. Punish block. Bolden. Block at the Winovich, who catches. Runs into the end zone. Yes. Touchdown. Patriots.
Shout out to my teammates for setting up the block punt and blocking for me and helping me finish the play.
Patriots with a blitz and a throw to the right. Caught in the flat by Hillman. Nowhere to go. Jamie Collins is there. Ball came loose. Picked up by Van Noy. To the 10, to the 5. Diving to the pylon. Touchdown.
Picked it up and tried to look like I was playing high school receiver again. I was thinking about Bill, to be honest, because I didn't want to lose the football because I'd have been in some trouble.
A couple big plays for us on the block punt, on the fumble, scoop and score by Kyle. Those are great plays, and we took advantage of those opportunities.
Defense played great. Special teams played great. Outside of a few plays, that would have been pretty good. So we're hanging in there.
So the final there at that game, final score, Pats took it 35-14. The Patriots defense allowed just 213 yards on Thursday night. They're leading the league in points allowed, yards, interceptions, third downs, and opponents' passer ratings, and by a wide margin, y'all. Look at the difference between them and the number 2 team. So
that ain't right.
Careful.
Who's the number 2 team?
Is
probably the Baltimore Ravens.
Categories. Categorically.
I got it. All right. It's an all-star team. They're better than an all-star team. Go ahead. Sorry.
So, do you think this defense is going to be the one to carry the team?
I think it's a defense that is taking the onus right now. We talked about it last week, about how they feel like they're not respected individually for their individual talents. I think that is starting to change now, particularly with Stephon Gilmore, who the other night, if Darrelle Revis is tweeting that Stephon Gilmore is the best cornerback in the league, that's good enough for me.
He's up there.
And a lot of the things that he's doing, look, they want to be able to show you zone and then switch to man. They want to be able to confuse you. That's what Bill Belichick wants to do all day and all night. It's what he did in the Super Bowl. This guy can do it both. He can do a little bit of everything. He's smart enough to be able to do that stuff. So when you've got that on that side of the field, lockdown, whatever you want to call it, now you can game plan around that. Yeah, I do think this is a defense that's going to be strong enough to, I don't want to say carry them, because we know this offense is going to pop from time to time. But someday I'll understand why your Buffalo Bills let him go. Today's not the day.
Well, for me, I think we're so amazed that what the New England Patriots are doing with their defense is because when you look at around the National Football League, look at what the offenses are doing. We're enamored by Patrick Mahomes and all of the passing yards. It's glitzy and glamour, right? They're locking people down, and I think it's embodied in their linebacker, Kyle Van Noy. The versatility of this guy. Look, check this out, D-Hall. The Patriots are 42-8 overall with Kyle Van Noy in the lineup. I never even thought about that, but the fact that this guy can cover backs out of the backfield, man-on-man coverage. He can also blitz blitz from the second level and get to the quarterback. Smart enough that when a guy picks him up, he acts like he's not blitzing. Then when the lineman turn, he goes. I mean, just to be able to do all of these things, he has, touchdowns already this year. He leads the team in quarterback pressures from the linebacker position. To me, the versatility of this guy is what makes this defense go.
No, I think you're absolutely right. But will this defense carry? I'm going to have to say this defense is going to have to carry him a little bit. And you talked about Calvin and Noah, and we all know at some point Tom Brady, he's going to be Tom Brady. He's going to look great. You look at the numbers, and the numbers say that this offense is pretty good. I think 6th or 7th ranked. But when I sit down and I watch the game, I feel as though they are missing another playmaker. And I know you kind of joked about, hey, I think Gronk's going to come back at some point. I think they need just one more weapon. And, I know they didn't anticipate having Antonio Brown, but once he got there and he was in that locker room and you saw in week 2 what this team could be with him, it was exciting. And then you take him away, and now it's like, I know Jules is a beast, is a monster, but like you said, he's getting double. He's kind of the only really threat out there that's consistently dominant. Some of those other players, they make plays, but it's not consistent. And so for me, I'm thinking this defense, they're going to have to be historically great. And I know Tom is the GOAT. I know Tom is the GOAT.
Like, to me, when I watch this offense, and I agree with you, it does look kind of sluggish.
And at the end of the game, you see the numbers, and it's like, wow, it didn't look that nice.
It doesn't, but at the end of the day, they're winning the ball game.
You're right.
And that's the stat that matters, right?
Here's what popped out to me was Tom Brady, the sneaky quarterback, and his sneaky little ways. Not just the fact that he had 2 rushing touchdowns on the night, but that when you think about just his overall career, he's one touchdown away on the season from matching his career high, which is 4 rushing touchdowns. That happened back in 2012. So it's been a hot minute. My point in saying that is that he's still fighting out there for that offense. They're going to follow suit. Not that they're not already putting up numbers and doing their jobs as well. But if you have Tom out there rushing for touchdowns, quarterback sneaks, whatever you want to call it, but the offense is going to play their role as well. So I think it's that balancing act with the Patriots, and that's what they're good at. They know how to manage that.
You made a great point. They're exactly good at that. Just whatever the defense takes away, they just do the opposite. Right? They counterpunch that. The other night, Tom was having issues throwing into the wind. He had to put the nose down on the football. He was inaccurate at times with passes. You know what they did? They started lining up in the eye and just running the football. They started doing a lot more crossing routes. They started doing game plan things. They started manufacturing the offense. So they have different ways they can beat you. We just not accustomed to seeing it being done this way as of late.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And that, to me, is what's so dynamic about the Patriots. It's not about that one person. It's about the team. And that's the culture that Bill Belichick and everybody else in that building have built. You talk about Tom taking those hits and just doing those little quarterback sneaks. I know a lot of quarterbacks who aren't doing that. And so when you see a guy like Tom Brady, as simple as you might think a quarterback sneak is, that's where all the meat is coming at you. The D lineman coming, the linebackers coming at you. You got to go and push through.
We lost Mike.
I know we lost Mike Rock. And so for me, those guys always following Tom Brady. When you got a leader like Tom Brady, man, the rest of the guys we don't follow.
We don't have that deep of a fan.
That is awesome.
Emotional support
I know
right
we
there.
will follow.
Oh, man. D-Hall, I love you, brother.
All right, well, take a look at this guy just so you can catch your breath. The Patriots have dominated their first 6 opponents. Their plus 142-point differential is second best since 1970. The other 4 on the list all made the Super Bowl, and 3 of them lifted the Lombardi. We'll just leave that little nugget right there for you.
Just leave it out there.
Mike Rob, we're going to let you just resuscitate for a moment.
Somebody fan this.
Catch it, get it together, drink some water. But coming up, we expected the Falcons to fly high. Instead, they've been grounded. So who's on the hook to turn this thing around?
Oh, don't get me started on that one.
And they say breaking up is hard to do. That applies to fantasy football, too. Aaron Rodgers, it's not you. Actually, champion Michael Robinson.
What's happening, people?
And our NFL reporter, Mike Garafolo. And in for Colleen Wolfe this week.
MJ.
Thank you, guys. Man, we should have done some choreography.
I know.
Man, we'll get it for the next block. That's for sure. We're going to get it in. All of it, the vibe, the guys, we're hitting it. Welcome in. Take a seat. I want you to hang with us throughout the show. Make sure you tweet us, because if it's not on Twitter or the gram,
it ain't happening.
So hashtag GNSB. Oh, man, let's start with some big games on the schedule this weekend. There are 4 matchups.
That's going to be a big game.
Pairing teams with winning records,
Detroit,
the
Green Bay.
Lions and Packers.
Now you're on Detroit.
I am on Detroit.
It's gonna be
Okay, welcome to the party.
You guys now,
That's Monday night. 2 NFC West rivals meeting in La La Land, Niners and Rams. And a couple teams that know each other very well.
Yes, they do.
Eagles at Vikings. And 2 of the best young QBs take center stage in KC. Deshaun Watson and the Texans visit Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs. Guys, that's where we're going to begin our walkthrough. Let's get ready for a Sunday on a Saturday. We're good. Watson and Mahomes drafted just 2 spots apart back in 2017. Now, 3 seasons later, they are thriving in the league. Watson coming off